All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk to you about Hut8 Mining, stock ticker HUT. They are, of course, a Bitcoin miner. We cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel, so if you're new to the channel or if you have not yet subscribed, please remember to press the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot, and it gets this video out to a lot more people. So I appreciate that. Let's talk about Hut8. Hut8 put out their July operational update. So I want to go through that. They also had some other big news in the month of July, so I want to bring everybody up to speed on what's going on with Hut. And then we will take a look at their stock, because their stock also has had a very good month. So let's take a look at everything. And we'll start out by taking a look at where they're at right now. So they're trading at $2.36 right now. If you look at their 52-week range, they got all the way down to $1.27. So all the Bitcoin mining stocks got beaten down pretty badly in May and June, and there's been a nice recovery in July, and now we're into August. We'll see which way we go from here. This leaves them at a $431 million market cap. If I go to their chart of their market cap over the last few years, you'll see that in November, so about 8 or 9 months ago, they were a $2 billion company. So they're still down about 80% from a market cap standpoint, as well as from a stock price standpoint. So the stock has had a very nice run, which we'll look at later in the charts. It's still down a solid 80% from its highs. Okay, so let's start with the operational update for the month of July. Hut8 Mining production and operations update for July 2022. 330 Bitcoin mined, bringing the reserve to 7,736 Bitcoin. So they continue to hodl 100% of their Bitcoin. They were the original hodlers. All the Bitcoin that they have on their balance sheet is self-mined. At this pace, they will be over 8,000 Bitcoin next month. So they've massively, massively increased their stockpile of Bitcoin. They show no signs of abandoning their hodling strategy. And obviously, at the moment, it looks like Bitcoin is having a little bit of a rebound, so we don't know which way that's going to go in the long term, but they continue to hold their Bitcoin under the premise that they think their Bitcoin will be worth multiples of what it's worth today in the future. Okay, so let me read their production highlights. 330 Bitcoin were generated, resulting in an average rate of 10.61 Bitcoin per day. So that's very similar to the month of June, but you're going to see they had a little glitch in July. They had a storm. So we'll get to that. So very similar results. I think they mined 328 Bitcoin in June. They mined 330 Bitcoin in July. So a solid month. And this was a month where many, many Bitcoin miners actually produced less or much less than their normal, because there were a lot of different places where energy curtailments were in place. Also, with Bitcoin being at or near its lows, a lot of companies took some machines offline. But Hut8 did not do any of that, so they had a good month from a production standpoint. So they say our Ethereum mining, for which we receive payment in Bitcoin. So they do still mine Ethereum. However, they don't take payment in Ethereum. They take payment in Bitcoin. So that's generating approximately 10.7% of their total production. So 10 or 11% of what they do is still Ethereum. So now they have 10,000 GPUs. They also have a new line of business, which is a massive data center. So if and when Ethereum moves over to proof of stake, they may continue to use these to mine, or some combination of using them for computing power. Then they say, keeping with our long-standing HODL strategy, 100% of the self-mined Bitcoin in July were deposited into custody. So that has been true, I think, for a long, long time, at least 2021 and 2022, and I think even long before that. Total Bitcoin balance held in reserve is 7,736 as of July 31st. Installed operating capacity was 2.92 exahash at the end of the month. We'll take a look and compare where they were at the end of last month. They continue very slow and steady growth this year. However, we're going to look at their investor presentation. They do intend to increase their exahash quite a bit more by the end of the year. So then they added a new statistic. I've been following this stat all along, but I have not seen a Bitcoin miner show this yet. Hut8 produced 113 Bitcoin per exahash in the month of July. So that's kind of an efficiency rating. Okay, so this is my Bitcoin efficiency by Bitcoin miner chart. We track this on a monthly basis and on a year-to-date basis. So you'll see prior to the month of July. So this is the first 6 months of the year. The red lines represent their average through the first 6 months of the year. So they were averaging 113 Bitcoin per exahash all year. They did that again in July, so that was right on target. And you'll see they're amongst the leaders in this. They're in 4th place overall. So they are an efficient miner. And when we get to the next point, you'll see they did have some downtime as a result of some bad weather, I believe. So let's get back to the operational report. Okay, additional updates. Monthly shipments of MicroBT miners continue to arrive as scheduled and are being installed in real time. A severe thunderstorm on July 18th interrupted the power supply to the Medicine Hat mine and surrounding areas. Site infrastructure and equipment were not damaged, and power was restored on July 23rd. So it looks like they had 5 days at one of their sites where they were down for the month. So that certainly affected their overall Bitcoin production and obviously their efficiency production as well. They then say Hut 8's high-performance computing business, which is not correlated to Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining, continues to grow. We recently signed Foundry as a cloud service client. So, as most of you probably know, Hut 8 acquired a high-performance computing center business that actually has 5 locations. They have over 400 customers, and they did add a very big customer right here within the Bitcoin mining industry. So I'm just going to go to that press release for a second. Okay, Hut 8 signs partnership with Foundry. Foundry selects Hut 8's data center infrastructure for cloud services. Hut 8 will support multiple lines of business for Foundry. Foundry works with the North American digital currency mining and staking industry, bringing institutional expertise, capital, and market intelligence to help build decentralized infrastructure. We are delighted to welcome Foundry, who we have long supported through their digital asset mining pool, to our high-performance computing data center. This is where they're starting to get some synergy, even though this high-performance computing is unrelated to Bitcoin, so it does not rely on the price of Bitcoin or the difficulty level. This is a separate line of business, and this business provides cash flow. So this is one of the reasons that they are able to sustain their HODL strategy, because they are getting cash flow from this part of the business. In addition to that, they intend on growing the high-performance computing part of the business. And like I said, they have 10,000 GPUs that, I don't want to speak on behalf of them, but those may ultimately end up being integrated into the high-performance computing side of their business as well. Just for reference, if we go to June's monthly update, they had an exahash rate of 2.78 exahash at the end of June. So if we look back at July, that increased to 2.92 exahash. So like I said, that's been a slow and steady increase all year. I just want to go to one page in their investor presentation because they do aspire to increase their exahash quite a bit more by the end of the year. This is their Bitcoin mining by the numbers. So this does not reflect today's update. So you'll see 2.78 exahash. We now know that's 2.92 exahash. 7,406, we now know that's 7,700 and change. But the number that I wanted to look at right here is projected year-end 2022, 6.0 exahash. So they still remain, in their latest and greatest presentation, it still looks like they're targeting 6 exahash by the end of the year. Now, that is a double from here, and they have 5 months left to do so. And then you can see here 100% HODL. So that continues to be their strategy. So I would expect to see some moves from them in the near future if they hope to get from 2.92 to 6.0. That's 3 additional exahash by the end of the year. So we will get a bunch more information because you can see here they put out a few days ago media advisory, Hut 8 to release Q2 2022 results on August 11th. So they will put out their June 30th quarterly financial statements. They'll file the 10Q with the SEC, and in addition to that, they'll have management's discussion where hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about what their expansion plans are for the rest of 2022. The other thing that I'm most interested to see in their financial statements, and again, these are coming out next week, August 11th. So I'll be looking for a few things. I'd like to see what their liquidity is, what their cash position is. So we know revenue for all of these Bitcoin miners is not going to be great in this quarter because the price of Bitcoin was down, at a 2-year low in the second quarter of 2022. So I am not going to be looking so much at revenue for the Bitcoin side of this. I'm going to be looking at their cost of revenue, which is mainly consisting of energy. So let's see how much it's costing them per Bitcoin. And then I'd like to see how their overhead is doing. In addition to that, we will get a chance to see how their high computing business is doing, because that is a separate segment. So we'll see, if that is growing in revenue, growing in profitability, and see how much cash that is throwing off. So those are the things I'm going to be looking for in the financial statements that come out next week. Okay, so let's take a look at their charts. I'm going to start zoomed out. This is HOT8 on the 1-day time frame. So you'll see HOT8 peaked back in November, right when Bitcoin peaked on November 9th or 10th. HOT peaked at a stock price of $16.52. So you can see from their high in November, it's now 9 months later, they're still down about 86% in stock price. So we also looked at their market cap, and we can see that is relatively the same. So not a lot of this is due to stock dilution. Most of this is due to a loss in market cap. So I'm going to zoom in and show you that they've actually had a huge run up in the last month. But what I wanted to show you first is even after that run up, they're still down 86% from their 52-week high. Okay, so if we look at the last few months zoomed in, again, this is HOT8 on the 1-day time frame. If we go from their low on July 5th, which is about exactly 1 month ago, to where they're trading intraday today on August 5th, they are up almost 79%. And they've actually pulled back on the day. So we'll see where they end on the day, but they're somewhere in that 79–80% increase off of their lows from last month. So that is a very big run up over the course of the month. Most of the Bitcoin miners had very nice run ups. So just the last number I'll show you is if we go from July 5th to their highs yesterday on August 4th, this run was actually almost 95%. So they have pulled back a little bit in the last day and a half. We'll see where they go from here, but from bottom to top, this was not quite 100%, not quite a double, but they did reach 95% run up. Again, they're sitting at about 80% right now intraday today. So just to sum up, a reminder, their financial statements, their Q2 financial statements, appearing down into June 30th, 2022, come out on August 11th, so that's a date to pay attention to. So that's all I've got for you on HOT8 and their July operations and update. So if you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.